Welcome to the Work Hard, Play Hard podcast. My name is Rob Murgatroyd, and I am a former doctor turned lifestyle entrepreneur. I decided that I was done being physically tied to my business and that I was going to spend the second half of my life living a bigger life and maximizing all the areas of my life, like family, friends, spiritual, travel, my health. And I also knew I was going to need some help with this. So I reached out to the best minds on the planet who are experts in their field to help me to not only create true time and money freedom, but to also help me to lead a truly fulfilled life. Come take this journey with me. Excuses are over. It's time to live.
And I'm thinking about going to medical school, and all I could think about in doing that was my student loan debt is going to be sky high when I finally get done and get to be a doctor and I'm helping people. I might not start my life until I'm 40 or 45. I was like, I don't want to wait that long. A lot of people's problem is that they're not patient enough. We always want that instant gratification. We were just patient and really trusted the process. And I saw what other people in the company were doing, and I was like, honestly, if they can do it, I can do it too. The biggest thing was I just didn't want to wait to start my life. I wanted to start it now. And I wanted to be building something that could last forever.
What's up, everybody? This is Rob Murgatroyd, and welcome to another episode of the Work Hard, Play Hard show. Today's guest is Hayden Vavra. Who's Hayden? Hayden, along with his wife, Emily, are the youngest millionaires in the network marketing company that my wife and I are a part of. In this conversation, we talk about everything from why he chose to do network marketing, why network marketing gets such a bad rap, and the first big ticket item that he bought himself when he started making some money. You can find him on the socials at Hayden Vavra. That's HaydenVavra. So without further ado, please enjoy this conversation I had with Hayden Vavra. Hayden, welcome to the show.
Rob, thanks for having me here, man.
You're welcome. Do you like that announcer voice I just used on you right there?
Yeah, that was really good. I was like, man, you must have been a DJ or something in your past life. I don't know.
Man, I have really been looking forward to doing this interview with you for so many reasons. Most of them, honestly, are a little bit self-serving, but I think as we dig in, we'll be able to help a lot of people too. So thank you for making the time.
Yeah, I've really been looking forward to it as well. And I hope that people get some value out of this. But, at the very least, we get to have a great conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, I have to acknowledge you on your recent physical transformation. I mean, you turned into like a superhero. You're like, you got the chiseled face, the six-pack thing. What set this whole thing in motion for you?
Honestly, just some life changes. But I was sitting there, 29 years old, and I was like, man, I'm going to be 30 soon. And I just switched a few things around and decided to be consistent instead of, going really hard for like 2 days and just eating salads and then being ticked off that I didn't have a six pack after eating a couple salads. And I realized, let's just take this nice and slow. And it was like, okay, how am I gonna shred this so I can see it? I always told people it's been marinating. It's been marinating for a long time. It's time for the muscles to come out a little bit.
That's an interesting word to choose. Have you had some previous false starts before with getting into the shape that you're in now? And if yes, why did this one stick at this time?
Yes. Oh, definitely. I think I was a person that was like a chronic, I'll start on Monday person. And so that was the big thing that changed. I was like, no more starting next Monday. Like, I think we see it so many times, and especially, I see it a lot with what I do. And it's like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is great. You're prepared, you're ready to go. And then, come Thursday, you're getting tired towards the end of the week. You're like, screw it. I'll start again on Monday. And then it's like you have 4 days. You had 3 good days, and then you have 4 really crappy days. And it's like, yeah, of course you're not going to get any results or the results that you're looking for. So for me, that was a huge shift. I've really been into intermittent fasting a lot more and doing some like 24 to 48 hour fasts or cleanses. And that's really helped me a lot too.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what are you doing now that other people may think is crazy? And I think you answered that. I know there's a lot of controversy over intermittent fasting, and some people don't really understand all of it. But certainly, you are the proof. And to use one more metaphor, the proof of the pudding.
Yeah.
I don't know why these examples are marinating in pudding. Okay, so full disclosure, you and I met because we're both on the same network marketing team. You are how old now?
30 years old.
Okay, all right, you're 30 years old and you are making over $1 million a year in what it is that you do, which puts you at 30 years old in the top 0.5% of American income. So I'm gonna not to swell your head and not to talk only about money, but there are certain things that you're doing that are allowing a certain lifestyle for you to live, allowing certain level of security for you to have. And what I wanted to do in this show, and it may not be for everybody, and I'm okay with that, but the show is about, working hard and playing hard. And one of the things that I chose personally to do in the world of working hard is to have a percentage of my income come from network marketing, which is something that I never thought I would do. I didn't want to do. And I had a lot of the same apprehensions that other people have. And so the reason why I wanted to have you on the show is because you're an example of somebody who is extremely young. I mean, you've been making this income, since your late 20s, 28, 29, somewhere in there. And
26.
You're 26.
Yes.
And so you're doing better than people that spend their whole lives to get doctorate's degree and things like that. So I wanted to create or have a conversation around it. And for people that maybe are interested in it, they may want to consider it themselves. So let's start at the beginning. How would you describe what network marketing is in its basic form?
In its basic form, I love this. I'm so excited we get to talk about this too. Okay, network marketing is, I believe that it's business stripped down to its kind of most fun parts about it. In network marketing, typically, you could call it a sales force, whatever you want to do it, but we get to do the fun parts about business, and that's connecting with people, offering solutions, and really helping people reach their goals to whatever that is. There's a lot of different products and services out there. And that's how I see it is that's really how it is. So now the company is taking care of all the shipping, all the research and development, all the materials, events, things like that. And if you want to really take it big, you start doing your own events and things like that, your own calls, and you start doing a little bit more. But for the majority of it, the company kind of takes care of all the crappy parts about business. And Rob, as you know, you've had a lot of different business ventures. And I would say that network marketing is really just stripped down to allow us to be the best version of ourselves. And to really just be people. Like we get to have fun. We get to share and talk about things that we love, whatever that may be. For us, it's nutrition and helping people with their nutrition goals. And I think it's brilliant. I think it's so much fun, and it takes a lot of weight off the shoulders. And I see so many people, entrepreneurs, small business owners, they get bogged down in kind of those day-to-day activities where they might be at their shop all day and then they have to go home and do all the books, do the payroll, make sure the shipping, make sure all that stuff is going right, where we can just keep talking to people, sharing it, and the company takes care of all that stuff. So I would say in a nutshell, that is what network marketing is.
All right, so let's take the flip side of the coin now. Why has it had such a bad rap?
I really believe, it's, when you look at it as a whole, it's just like anything else. You're going to find bad teachers. You're going to find bad business owners. You're going to find bad cops. In every profession, there is, quote unquote, bad people doing skeezy things. And I think in network marketing, it got somehow tied to pyramid schemes. It got somehow tied to skeezy people that were just louder than everybody else doing this business. So I think that is why it's gotten a bad rap. But to be honest, I really believe those days are gone. Network marketing's gone through its infancy stage. And I'm so blessed for those companies that helped this whole profession get us through that. It's gone through its teenage years. It's been through trial. Like, it's proven. There's no more defending network marketing. It's just like pretty soon it's going to be, okay, what company are you a part of? Because I don't remember the statistics, but it's some astronomical high percentage of people in households in America that are using some sort of product from a network marketing company, product or service. And I really believe it's going to be everybody pretty soon. Like, what company are you a part of? Because it's a great way to make an extra $500 a month, $1,000 a month. And we look at the we economy now, and it's like everybody's looking for a little side hustle, right? Everybody's looking for something a little extra. Now, network marketing can provide that, but it can also provide an amazing income that's freedom and that's true residual income.
All right, so let's kind of go back to when you first started. Tell me what the conversation was like when you decided that you were going to do this. In other words, where were you? Do you remember when you said, you know what? I think I'm going to do this. I know you have a little background with your parents doing it, but that's what I'm mostly interested in is in you. When did you say, I'm going all in?
Yeah, so I grew up in network marketing, but never thought I was going to do that. I just want to start there. And when I finished, so I was in school, I was pre-med, I took my MCAT, getting ready to go to medical school. And then I had an opportunity to pursue professional football. And that had always been a childhood dream of mine. So I start doing that. I go down that path. And that's when I actually was introduced to these products that I use now every single day. And I just love the products. I was like, these work. I had been somebody that had taken proteins, nutrition supplements, all through high school and college. And I did that. And now I take these and I'm like, okay, this is actually working. So number one, I my belief was already built in that. But again, never thought I would start, doing it as a business. Until football was over, I was at a crossroads in my life. Like, what in the heck am I going to do? I got my student loan bills from my undergraduate. And that was like, 400 pounds put back on my shoulders. And I'm thinking about going to medical school. And all I could think about in doing that was my student loan debt is going to be sky high when I finally get done and get to be a doctor. And, I'm helping people. I might not start my life until I'm 40 or 45. I was like, I don't want to wait that long. And so I had watched what my wife Emily was doing within our company, and she was helping people, and it still fit along the lines of what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a doctor to help people, and to live a good lifestyle. And I saw what other people in the company were doing, and I was like, honestly, if they can do it, I can do it too. And I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to figure this thing out. And really just started getting to work and trusting the process that was laid out. And for me, that the biggest thing was I just didn't want to wait to start my life. I wanted to start it now. And I wanted to be, building something that could last, for forever.
This is why I love this, because I'm around the world of network marketers. I've got, I'm privileged enough to have my choice to interview anybody. This is not a show about network marketing. And frankly, I probably won't have another, quote, network marketer on the show, but I chose you specifically because you're normal.
Yeah.
and the reason why I say that, and I don't mean to, talk disparagingly, but there's something that happens, or at least this is from my perspective, and maybe you can talk to this, but there seems to be something that happens when somebody begins network marketing. They lose who they are and they start talking weird, start posting weird. And all of a sudden, they're speaking to their friends not like they once were. Can you add a little bit of color there and maybe explain why you think that happens and some pitfalls that you can help?
Yeah, for sure. Well, and that's another reason why I think the profession gets a bad rap is because all of a sudden, and I'm sure the listeners here are, they're like, oh my gosh, I can think about 5 of my friends that exactly describes them. Is like all of a sudden they get involved with the company. They get excited, just like we all do when something good happens. You get excited, and all of a sudden their social media turns into an infomercial. And they're calling you and they're talking weird, and you're like, okay, what's up? Something's up. No, I think sometimes it shocks people when we actually get to sit down, like how kind of quote unquote normal I am, like you said, because I truly just, I want to help people. And when I look at it, What we really do is we just offer solutions. And if I can ask somebody, if I can get into a conversation, ask enough questions, and offer a solution that makes sense for somebody, I'm going to do that. If not, I'm going to refer them to somebody else that can. And I really want to help people have a better life, experience a better life, find solutions for the problems that they have. And, it just so happens that a lot of people have issues with weight. They have issues with energy. They have issues with, wanting to feel better. I think those things naturally come up in conversations. So I'm not ever going to force the issue with that. And we teach our team to do that all the time. It's like, have conversations with people without an agenda.
So let's talk a little bit about the income model when it comes to network marketing. So network marketing has this sort of inverted model when it comes to income. Can you describe what the first 2 or 3 months looked like for you in terms of income, and how long it took before you started to see numbers that you went, whoa, this is crazy?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I love the model because everybody's equally vested in it. Everybody is equally, I want to help a brand new person, because I know that's going to help them, but it's also going to help me. And if I don't help other people be successful, I can't be successful, and vice versa. So in the beginning, you're going to, and just like any business, you're going to feel like you are doing way more work than what you're getting paid. And it's just how it is. Like that makes sense. Like, it's like you look at it, we could use the snowball analogy. You start with a little snowball, you're packing it, and snow's kind of coming off. You're at the top of the hill, right? And you're trying to just get the right amount of snow. Find the right people. You're trying to find the right people, and you're going to a couple different piles, and finally you get this good snowball. Things start to heat up a little bit. All of a sudden you're rolling the snowball, and now it's getting so big that you can't even contain it. And it just keeps rolling down the hill. And all of a sudden you have this just massive momentum that you can't stop, whether you want to or not. And all of a sudden it's just this big wave of people that have the same mission, that have the same vision, that are all moving in the same direction. And that's really, how our business took off, is we kept doing the do. We kept looking for the right people. We kept sharing that vision of what we wanted to help people do. And that's where I would say, everybody's got a different level of significance, but I would say a 6-figure income is really significant in our profession. That's always kind of like a pinnacle goal. And within, I would say about, a year and a half, we finally got to that point. And then from there, it was like, okay, now, because we've done this, we can show other people how to do this. And that's when what I love about this model is we started making other people's incomes more important than our own, helping them get to whatever they wanted to be, $500 a month, $1,000 a month, $20,000 a month. We have people on our team earning 7 figures now. It's absolutely incredible what can happen if you just decide to go first. And that's where, yes, it's going to take time. And in reality, it was a year and a half, that much time for it to get going. No, but it was definitely a grind. It was a grind. And you might agree with me on this, but I think a lot of people's problem is that they're not patient enough. We always want that instant gratification, and we were just patient and really trusted the process.
Well, I think a lot of people come to this point where they're like, I need some more money. I'm in a desperate situation right now. I don't like my job. I heard about, Hayden. He's making $1 million a year. I'll give it a shot. And at some point in their brain, they believe that this is a magic bullet. They sign up, and all they got to, it's kind of like getting a gym membership, right? All you got to do is get the membership and you get the body. But, the reality is, you and I both know you got to do the work. And I think at some point, and there's also, I think, some bad network marketers, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, but I think that there are some, quote, bad network marketers who are, saying, come on in, it's going to be easy, it's going to be great, join the team, we're going to make $1 million and we're going to lead a great life. And they join the team, they don't make $1 million, $100, and they say, yeah, I tried it, didn't work. How do you deal with that when it comes up in explaining that to people?
Oh my gosh, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. And if if you're listening to this and someone says it's going to be easy and it's going to be fast, and it's not. Like, that's not the reality of it. And you're being deceived, you're being lied to. So we're very straight up with people, like, hey, this is possible, but it's just like anything else. It's going to take a lot of work. I love the gym analogy, getting the membership. Yeah, I got the membership, but I didn't go into the gym once. So, the gym sucks. I didn't get any results. It's like, so many people do that in network marketing. They get the products, they get their website, they get the tools, but then they don't talk to anybody. They're like, oh, I tried that, it didn't work. It was like, well, you didn't work it. It's not going to work if you don't work it, right? And so I have always believed that if I want somebody to run with me, I want to have a business partner, I'm going to be straight up with them from the get-go. If you're not ready for that, then what's the point? Because it's going to be work. It's going to be hard. And it's going to, there's going to be times where you're like, why the heck am I doing this? Why did I listen to this person? But you continue on the path and good things begin to happen. But that's one of my biggest pet peeves when people come in, they're like, oh, it's going to be easy. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of this. The products sell themselves. I was like, no, nothing sells itself. You have to talk about it, right? Like, you have to do the work if you want the results.
Let's talk a little bit about opposite day. Our mutual friend, Chris Harder, said to me, I remember that there was somebody, I was like, wow, I got somebody who's going to be amazing. It's going to be great at this business. He says, be careful. I said, what do you mean? He said, it's opposite day. I'm like, what's opposite day? He said, well, opposite day is the ones that you think are going to be great aren't, and the ones that you think are not going to be great are, and you never really know. So, you're doing this much longer than I am. You're making a much higher income than I am, which allows you to have much more clarity and depth in understanding this. But how do you know who's going to be great and who isn't going to be great?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Honestly, the only people that I know are going to be great are the ones that have done it before and they're in a situation where they need to do it again. That's the only surefire, guaranteed way that upon meeting somebody, talking with somebody in the beginning, that you can meet people that you would be like, they're going to do, this is going to be awesome for them. They'll say all the right things in the beginning, and they'll be excited. They'll get you excited. And all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, you never hear from them again. They join the witness protection program, and you're like, oh, wait, what happened? Like, what happened to all these dreams, hopes, the things you said you were going to do? And then you get people that you'd be like, nope, no way. But they want it, and something happens, and they make a decision, right? They make a decision that they're going to do this, and they make it work, and they make it happen, and you'll be shocked. And I still, to this day, Rob, I don't know. I don't know when I meet somebody. I want to always pour belief and greatness into people. But even from a first conversation or knowing, like, there's still moments where I'm like, I just don't know. I don't know. And I'm not going to overhype it. I used to overhype it and then get let down. And now it's just kind of like, I found that you just kind of remain calm and see what happens, and wait till the action occurs.
Right. I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and she said, I watched the movie, but I turned the volume down, and I just look to see what actions they're taking. I don't care what they're telling me that they want. I don't care what they say they're going to do. I just watch the movie and I lower the volume. And I thought, wow, what a great analogy.
That's a great analogy. I'm stealing that one. I like that.
Yeah. What have you changed your mind about when it comes to this profession? In other words, where were you in the beginning that now you're like, you know what? I changed my mind about this.
Man, that's really good. That's a great question.
Or maybe I'll give you a little time to think about the answer. How has your thinking changed or evolved since you started to do this?
Yeah, I would say in the beginning, I thought you had to be like this certain type of person, or you had to be, you had to fit this mold to be a great network marketer. You had to have maybe a suit and tie to be good and be flashy and be shiny and, have the nice cars, have the big houses. And, I found that to be just completely untrue. What I found to be true was that the people that become the best version of themselves and they're comfortable with that, those are the ones that really make it happen. And it ends up not being about, the flashy stuff, the things, so to speak, but it ends up being about the experiences. It ends up being about, the journey and the person that you become. And so I always had this kind of preconceived thing that, well, I'll be successful when I have this, or I'll be successful when I have that. And it was really, I found through the journey that the fun part is in that process, is in that journey, becoming the best version of myself, constantly, reading books, listening to podcasts, going to events, seminars, and really just allowing my mind to be open and expand. I think that's where everything changed. It didn't have to fit a certain mold. It just had to be like, continue growing, continue working on yourself, become the best version of yourself. And that was, that's I guess been a big kind of aha moment or shift for me.
Would you walk us through maybe some of the darker times that you've had building this business and what you were able to do to get yourself out of it?
Yeah, for sure. Especially in the beginning, and even now, I struggle with getting rejected. Like that used to be something that would get me shut down. Like it would shut me down. I was like, I don't want to make another call. I don't want to talk to another person. I don't want to go do another meeting. Like I can't handle it. And I had to make that, just that mind shift of, why am I taking this personally? They're not rejecting me. They like me as a person. We still talk. We still hang out. But so many people will take, a rejection into not joining their team, not joining their organization, not supporting their business as a personal thing, when really it has nothing to do with it. And it can just be a total timing thing on the other person's part. And as I saw that begin to develop, I might have got rejected 5-10 times. And then all of a sudden, a year later, 2 years later, that person's on my team and we're business partners and we're having a great time. So rejection has been really tough, especially, social media is great, but it's also another platform for, people to nitpick at you and try to bring you down and tear you apart. I think with every entrepreneur, that's something you're going to deal with. And, the great thing is you can I just chose to, bless and release, so to speak, and let them go and be in their own little negative world.
Yeah, no, I get that. And I would suppose, I hadn't really thought about that for you, but I would suppose that as you grow and you start hitting benchmarks that make people uncomfortable to watch, that holds a mirror up to what they have not accomplished. And it's, you know what I mean? So they knock you down, that makes them look bigger. But I would suspect that happens quite a bit for you because you've had such success in this, yeah?
Yeah. It happens a lot. And especially me being from the Midwest, it's a lot more passive aggressive with people. So
how so? Because I'm not sure. I don't have a lot of reference for the Midwest. How is it different there?
It's like they won't like say your name, but they're going to be very public about exactly what you're doing and basically do everything but say your name. And 100% of the time that it's you, and everybody else knows it is too. We get a lot of that in the Midwest. They're not going to be, like East Coasters going to be straightforward and say F you. In the Midwest, it's kind of like they'll do it in a roundabout way and try to do it to cut at the core a little bit more.
Well, we do a little differently in the South here in Atlanta. We say bless your heart, and then we follow it with F you.
Yeah. So, I like that. Come in soft. Good cop, bad cop.
You got it. Was there a particular favorite failure that set you up for later success? So in other words, at the time, you were like, oh shit, this is not good. But then looking back on it, you're like, you know what? I'm glad I had that failure, because that failure, had I not had that failure, I wouldn't have had this success. Is there anything that comes to mind?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of things. But I mean, one example is, so now, as you know, I do a lot of public speaking, a lot of training on stage. I mean, I absolutely hated public speaking. I know I'm not alone here, because it's like one of the biggest fears out there for people. But I remember my first few times, I mean, not even few times, probably freaking 20 or 30 times, I mean, I look back on it now and I'm like, a disaster. I would just be drenched in sweat. I don't even know if I said anything right. I know there was a lot of, just bad stuff. Just not very intelligent things, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember kind of my first big speaking, speaking on stage. It was in front of probably like 800 people. And I froze. I didn't know what to say. I forgot what I was going to talk about. I forgot everything that I planned out. And at the time, it felt like 10 minutes. It might have been, 20 seconds or 30 seconds. I don't really know. But that was something after that engagement. I was like, I can't do this. Like, I'm never going to do this again.
How'd you get better at it?
Just through repetition, doing it more and more and more and continuing to do it till I got to the point where I felt comfortable. Because I played sports, I think that was something that I really learned from, is like, continue to keep doing it, like practice it until it becomes habit, until it becomes normal. And now, I mean, I could get up in front of 15,000 people tomorrow and speak and have a great time with it and have, and it would be fun. But, in the beginning, when I used to have to give like 2-minute biology presentations in college, I spent more time looking up diseases that I could get out of it, or some sort of illness or sickness instead of actually just, doing it. That's how scared I was. I mean, I despised it. I couldn't stand it. And I was like, everybody's going to know I don't know what I'm talking about. They're going to see right through me. I'm going to be a fraud. Like, this isn't going to work. And all these like negative things that you start telling yourself. And it's, in reality, none of it's true. And when you're up on stage, you're the expert. Most of the time you're going to know more than what people in the audience do in terms of what you're talking about or the subject you're talking about. And the more I began to do it, the more I began to own it. And, I still get nervous. You still get little butterflies and stuff like that. But that was a huge just learning experience for me, and knowing that, okay, if I can get through this, I can help other people get through this too. And we're going to make it happen. Let's do it, baby.
So let's get more current. What is the hardest challenge or bad behavior that you're currently working on with yourself?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, this is like hard to talk about, I guess. I don't want to show my weaknesses off, but no, I think being my own boss and not having somebody watching me at all times or making sure I'm getting certain things done or not, that's a struggle. So I guess that would fall under, maybe procrastination. I could get away with it. I absolutely could. But when I really, think about it, and what helps me get through that is, if I don't get this done, I'm letting, a lot of people down from them being able to be successful or to be able to help them. So I think, a little bit of that for me in this year, and not putting off things so much.
This is an interesting conversation, because when you're in a position like you are, where if you wanted to, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, if you said, screw it, I'm going to get on a plane, I'm going to go to the Caribbean, I'm going to spend a year, and I'm going to grow my hair out. And well, you actually grew your hair out, so you probably won't do that again. But I'm just going to hang out on the beach. I'm going to get a little spot, and I'm just going to chill and relax. And I'm not going to connect with anybody or anything. You're in a position now economically where if you did that, the money would continue to roll in. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct. Yep.
So I see the dilemma, because the dilemma is, when we're all working because we have a goal, right? We want to have money coming in. Well, now you do. Now you've got it, not only is it coming in, but you've created it coming in a passive way that truly doesn't require, and I'll put the word require in quotes just for pushing this metaphor or this point, but you don't have to do it anymore, but you still do. So you got to find that internal motivation, I suppose. I'm speaking for you, but you can correct me. You got to find that internal motivation to rise above it and continue to push. Is that right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that's a daily reminder for me. I have it written in my journal, in my notebook, in my phone. as a constant reminder of where I came from and what the real mission is, because I know because of what, we've been able to accomplish, I know I can help other people do that too. And when I'm talking to people, those are things that I'm telling them, like, I'm going to be here with you. I'm going to help you. I'm not going to force you to do anything, but when you're ready, I'm going to help you do that. And so it's, I think your why changes, your why evolves, so to speak. And now that I do have that passive income coming in, I could just, go away. We have enough vested leaders that we're not going anywhere, and that's a huge benefit of doing this business, is if you need to take that time, personal stuff comes up. I know, like my grandfather recently passed away, and I had the freedom and flexibility to go stay at his house, sleep by his bed while he's in hospice care. And it's like, I don't know what else I would have to do to be able to do that and spend that time with him, and that was, to me, those moments are priceless. They're priceless. So it's that little stuff too, not just getting away, but when life stuff comes up, it allows you the flexibility to go and do it. And that was something that continued to drive me, because I know other people are going to have life stuff come up, and I want them to be able to have an income that they know is going to keep coming in, whether they're going to be quote unquote working or not that week or that day or that month, and so that kind of stuff is what really drives me to get through that.
All right. So I want to talk a little bit about the fun stuff, which is the play hard stuff. So was there and some of these questions are going to be like, I can't believe he's asking me this, but I'm going to ask them to you anyway, because they're in me. So I'm going to ask you, was there a particular purchase that you made as you started making money that you always wanted, that really added value to you? And value could be, sometimes it's okay to go, I want to buy $1,000 leather jacket just because I look cool in the jacket. It's like, I'm not curing cancer here. I'm just trying to do fun. What was that for you? Where it, we all have in the back of our mind, we want the Lamborghini, we want the house on the water as guys, and even women too. What was the thing where you went, God, I've always wanted this, and you just freaking.
Yep. Oh my gosh, I love this. And it's fun. Everyone that's listening, you have to do stuff like this because you appreciate it. I don't care what the cost is, as long as you can afford it, you got to do this stuff. And so for me, the first one, I was looking for a year and a half when I was finally at the point where I was like, okay, I can do this. But since I was 12, I've always, and because my parents were in network marketing, we had vision boards. They had theirs on the fridge. I had mine in my room. And I had a picture of a white G-Wagon with blacked out windows and black rims, black tires. So once we started making income, that was something that had always stayed on my vision board, and set goals to hit that. For us, it was a certain rank. And I was like, okay, when we hit this rank and we're making this amount of money, I have it all saved up, and we're just going to go buy it. And I looked for a year and a half finally, and there's not as many in Minnesota as there, is in other areas of the world. So one finally popped up at the dealership, went to the dealership, and it was honestly whatever salesman walked out first that day, he was going to be very happy, because my mind was already made up. I already knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, he hit pay dirt.
Yeah, he hit pay dirt. And so that was the first one. It was a white G-Wagon G63. I love it. I don't know. I don't think I'll ever be able to get rid of it. I think it's going to just keep evolving, maybe into some really cool off-road vehicle eventually. But I don't know. But that was one of the things, exactly what you're describing. I was like, when I quote unquote make it to this level, that's the vehicle I'm going to have.
What is on your vision board now that is like that was then?
Oh my gosh. Well, we're just in the, kind of process of moving right now. And so it's like finding some of these pictures and stuff. And you're like, oh my gosh, that's happened. Whether it was like an income goal or a material thing. But right now I have a watch. I have a watch that I really want. That's on my vision board, that I have a couple goals set. When I hit those goals, I can't wait to go get that watch and look at it on my wrist every single day.
I will share with you, because the last time we were together in Los Angeles at Chris's house for his 40th birthday, we talked about watches. And my wife surprised me with one that was on my vision board, which was a Panerai.
Yes.
And I just got the Panerai, and I got to tell you, man, it was nice.
Hey,
it is.
You need to send me a picture, because I just got one as well. I know it's not, at the level of yours, but you inspired me to really look at those, and I found one for, kind of on the low. So we're gonna have to take a nice picture together.
Well, I tell you what's great about that watch. For anybody who's listening who's into watches, what makes that watch unique is that, and somebody can Google and wiki this and get how I got it entirely wrong, but I think I'm close. It was designed for the Italian officers in the Navy, and it was designed, as all Italian things are, to have form and function. So it needed to be able to work when they were diving in the water, but it also needed to look beautiful when they were in uniform. And so it's this 1950s highly functional watch. That's the story of it, and that's what I love about it.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, so now that you've set yourself up, you've got time, you've got money. What's a typical day look like for you? You wake up, you hit the gym, you do your calls, you go to bed. Like, what's a standard Hayden day?
Yeah, standard day is you almost just exactly described it. But I wake up, I have my coffee, I do my devotions, I do my reading, I do my journaling. I love to take that time in the morning for that. It just seems to be when everything's calmest and most quiet. And I don't have any kids yet or anything like that. I know that's a whole nother story. But then I go to the gym, I get my workout in, just depending on the day. It's either in the gym or I've been doing a little bit more hot yoga. And then I have one of those Peloton bikes that I have in my house. I can kind of do whenever. And I freaking love that thing because I'm competitive, and I've almost died on there about 5 times. So that's just, I'm like, I'm going to beat that person, but I'm definitely going to beat my score from last week. So that's been nice just to have that around. If I have some downtime, I can hop on and do that. But then typically my workday starts, I don't like it to start before noon, but most days probably starts about 11, where I will start my first calls, whether it's a coaching call, following up with people, checking in on people with their products and with their business, things like that. And then at night, I kind of have about a few hours in the middle of the day for just to kind of take care of whatever I need to take care of. I try to keep that space open as well, just more for myself or to answer back messages, emails, things like that. And then at night is a lot more, and because my business is global now, mixing in all these different time zones and trying to make that work. I do a lot of stuff via, video conferencing. We use Zoom a lot, but then also with my local team here, once or twice a week, have a live kind of local meeting that people can come in, learn a little bit more. And then I love doing the business training part of it as well. So typically like one live in-person kind of opportunity meeting, so to speak, and then either later in the week or just right after that, doing a business training and really helping people see how this can be a income-producing asset for them. So that'll be a couple days a week, but otherwise it is, most evenings. My work schedule is just different. I work a lot of evenings doing calls and video conferencing and coaching and things like that. That would be kind of a typical day, a typical work day. But again, it depends on where I'm at, Rob. I mean, if I'm in California, then it might look a little bit different. I want to enjoy the sunsets and see those things too.
How has, okay, so there's 2 things that you said before we wrap I want to touch on. The first is your workout routine. You mentioned hot yoga, which I just began myself, and I think this will be useful for people. As most of the listeners of this show will learn about me, Hayden and I are very, very different in the world of sports. I just learned that there was somebody named Tom Brady this year. Yes, that's a true story. Okay, so I can talk all about what I've learned about him this year, but I know I'm getting his food delivered tonight, which is a conversation for another day. I'll tell you guys all about it. The company he uses is called Purple Carrot. So I'll let you know if I like Purple Carrot. But one of the things I'm learning from his book, TB12, and I'm going somewhere with this, so bear with me. But one of the things that I learned from his book is that you don't want to be so, and I'll butcher this, but so tight and constricted from things like weightlifting because your body doesn't absorb the shock well. And you want to lengthen the muscles as much as you can, which is why he's so big with plyometrics and things like yoga. So, being a
muscle pliability.
There you go. Muscle pliability. Yeah. So being new to this world, I said, okay, well, let me start doing hot yoga. So I started it about a month ago, and I've been doing it just once a week on Sundays. And I have to tell you, I have never felt better in my life doing hot yoga. Now, I don't feel like I look any better, but I'm sure that most of that is going to come from my diet. So my question for you is, you got three things you're doing, right? You're doing hot yoga, you're spinning on the Peloton, and you're doing weights. What does that breakdown look like in terms of how many days you're doing what?
Yeah, I would say weights about 3 to 4 days a week. Peloton, I mean, that could range from anywhere from 2 to 5, just kind of depending on travel schedule and what's going on. I would like to do hot yoga twice a week, but I would say consistently I'm at about once a week right now.
Oh, good. I don't feel so guilty.
Yeah. And if I'm on if I'm doing like one of my 24 or 48 hour fasts, I typically won't do like heavy weights. I'll do more like yoga and get on the bike those days.
Yeah, it's a little hard to have have 2 45-pound dumbbells on you doing bench presses when you're on a 48-hour fast. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
I've done it. I could do it, but hot yoga has been amazing. I would totally agree with you. I mean, it's just the way I feel, but I think what it does, like mentally too, it just gives you a chance to. I mean, it's like an inward focus, and it's great. It's amazing.
Yeah, I can't really describe it, but there's something about that hour in there. I mean, I don't know if you get this, but at the end of it, I get a little peppermint towel that they hand me with essential oils. I like kill myself for the hour just so I can get the towel to put on my forehead.
I need to find a place like that.
Yeah, it's fancy. All right, so let's wrap up with our rapid fire round of questions. Feel free to answer these as quickly or as take as much time as you need to take. First one is: are there any particular books that you have reread?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm a huge John C. Maxwell guy, but his 15 Laws of Invaluable Growth, and that's something I reread all the time. There's so much application in there. It's like, I mean, my book is just shredded. It's shredded. That's the one I reread probably the most.
What is the one thing that you own and probably should throw out, but you never will?
Oh my gosh. The one thing, there's too many things. I would say most of that is probably clothes that I just can't let go of, but they're there. They have some sort of sentimental value somehow. I don't get it, but there's a lot of clothes that I have that I should throw out that I just can't.
Other than Facebook and Instagram, what's the one app on your phone that you can't live without?
Ooh, I would say my NBC Sports Talk app. Is that where I get a lot of my sports updates? That's my guilty pleasure.
That is the one app that I would delete. Okay. So, best advice for your 20-year-old self?
Ooh, don't just stop taking things so seriously. I was pretty serious then. I had a lot of fun, but I mean, it was like, I would worry about the dumbest stuff ever.
If I were to talk to your friends and ask them what your superpowers are, other than me, what would they answer?
They would probably answer, probably just that I'm a very kind of friendly, easygoing person. I don't know if that's a superpower, but also at the very like a I don't know how to say this, like a humble strong, or like a something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would completely agree with that.
Okay.
And then the last question is: if you had to give a TED Talk on nothing that you're known for or nothing that you speak about, and it could be on anything that you like or that you have a passion for or anything else at all, what would it be?
I would say, and because of, what I do now, it kind of falls in, to the lines of that, but it would probably be a little bit of something on research into anti-aging. That's like, because of my science background, I don't talk about it a lot. And even, being in this kind of supplement industry, so to speak, I don't talk because people no one cares about that. But it's a little guilty pleasure that I have is, going through research on anti-aging and things like that, and all the fun stuff that's coming out. That excites me, and not a lot of people now would know that.
Thank you for this. This was amazing. Your grandpa up in heaven would be so proud of who you've become, and I am so grateful to call you a friend. And thank you for doing this. This was great.
Yeah, I mean, I had an absolute blast. Obviously, every time we talk and hang out, we have a great time. But this has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I want to thank you. And I love the name of your podcast, Work Hard, Play Hard, because I feel like every time we get together, that's how it is. We both work hard, but we definitely know how to play hard, and I love that part about life too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So do you have any final words, suggestions, or even an ask for the people that are listening?
Yeah, this is something that's been coming up a lot for me lately, and people I've been, working with, coaching, talking to, and alluded to it a little bit earlier in the podcast, but in whatever passion you're pursuing, be patient with it. And I would just, really ask the listeners to really dig deep and figure out, when stuff gets tough, what is going to be the one or two things that keeps you going, that keeps you grounded, that keeps you pursuing that passion, because there's going to be tough stuff that comes up, and it's going to come up more than once. There's going to be a lot of tough situations that are going to make you want to quit. They're going to make you want to stop. They're going to make you want to stop pursuing your health goals, your business ventures, whatever it may be. But be patient with it, because I think we can all look back on time and say 5 years wasn't that long ago, but you try to project 5 years forward and it feels like it's going to be forever. In reality, it's not. So I would say, especially to my millennial generation, be patient. It's going to work out. It's going to be okay.
Perfect advice. Hayden, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for listening. If you love this episode and you know someone that needs some help in either stepping up their work hard game or their play hard game, it would mean the world to me if you shared this podcast with them to help me get this movement out there. So if you like what you heard, head on over to iTunes, take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review, and I will be forever grateful. So until the next episode, excuses are over. It's time to live.